Hi guys, so we will be doing a awesome Sam Poole digital design team create today. I have had to voice over this because as I work I can never do something the whole time while sitting down, so I've done it overnight and then the next day. It's taken about 3 hours. I will be using her amazing Botanical kit and Botanist kit, and I'll put the link in the description below for those. But the beauty of me voiceovering what I'm creating is that I can show you what we're creating before you get into the video. So we're just going to make a see-through little window pocket, and those are mirrored on the other side, so I can show you how to do that. We've got a pocket in there, and that one there is a pocket as well. And then on the back I will show you how to create that scrappy little notebook, which is just sitting on a belly band there. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so these are the papers that I'm using. This one, both of these are from the Botanical kit, except this one I did print on twice by accident. So if you want it to look like that, just print the butterflies on top of the other one. This one is from the Botanist kit, and these ones are from the Botanical, and I've just mirrored those two top images up the top so that when I cut them out you'll see they mirror nicely. So I'm just going to quickly fussy cut them out. I've fast forwarded a lot of this for you guys. Most of it's at 2 times, so when you watch it, if you speed it up, it'll be at 4 times. I just didn't know how much to keep and how much was teaching people to suck eggs, but I guess it shows my whole process. This has taken me probably about 3 hours, so I've managed to cut it down to 30 minutes. So there you go, they mirror nicely, and so do the segments. I'm just going to distress them, walnut stain. I do both sides just in case they're not perfectly matched. They blend in so that you can't see them anyway, but the way that I'm doing this, there's going to be a piece of lace in between them anyway, so you shouldn't notice that at all. I've got this, this is my glue that I always use, and this lace I managed to get off Marketplace. It's like 90 meters wide. It's beautiful and sheer. And just see how they place on there. So I'm going to laminate them. Looking back now, probably not the best choice. I had a lot of trouble with it, as you will see. I'll keep all the boo-boos in. Just going to apply some glue, stick this side to the lace, then glue the other side of the pear, I think it's a pear, so that they mirror nicely. Won't need much glue because it's going to be between the lamination, but if you were going to use acetate and sew them together, I would apply glue to the second side, not just rely on the little bit, just like I've done here. So here we go, let the faffing begin. Again, I will speed it up, really speed it up for you. No one needs to see laminations going through a laminator. So no, my laminator is not this quick. Comes out the first time wrinkly, and there's some sort of smudge in between. So I'll put it through again. I still wasn't happy with it, so I thought I'd try and put it between 2 layers of paper. As you can see, it's still crinkly. It's probably not going to matter too much. You're not going to be able to see it by the time I cut it out. But I'll put it between 2 layers of paper, and I pressed it under some books. It was reasonably good, but like I say, I'll probably use acetate the next time. Okay, so now it's Saturday morning. Time just flies. So I'm just going to stick this die cut to the laminate so that I can cut around it. You want the laminate to be slightly bigger than the die cut, so that you've got somewhere to stick it onto the paper. Chuck it through I run it through twice because that is on a reasonably thick card. I think it was 300 GSM. Just going to line up the inside of the die cut line with a line on my cutter so that I can get an even border all the way around. Just check that I'm on the right line. No, one more. Okay. And the last one. And I was considering cutting that off, but as you'll see, I then started thinking maybe I will put a label up there. So I'll leave it as is. This one, speed it through, exactly the same process. I've got a couple of tags to use whenever I want, because we won't be using those in this one. Just done exactly the same thing, but here I'm just going to, by eye, cut this to the shape of the top of the tag. Just going to quickly ink those up using the same walnut stain. Decided I wanted to round those corners, and I'll re-ink them, and I'm happier with the way they look now. So I just need to see how this is going to fit, get a basic measure of where I need to do the cutout. Now I'm going to need to cut this slightly larger than the die cut so that it doesn't interfere with the laminate, but it still gives room to sit underneath the frame so that you've got something to stick the edge of the frame to. Just need to cut a little bit more. It's better to do it in bits like this. You can't go back once you've cut too much. Perfect. This is about where my rough cutting started to aggravate me, so I've just cleaned that up a little bit so it looks a little bit more symmetrical. So first glue the back of the frame. Make sure you get the glue right on those edges if you can, but not too much glue so that when you push it down it squidges out over the laminate. You can scrape that off, but it's a bit of a pain. Place the laminate on. You've still got glue room left now to stick it onto the base page. And now all you have to do is glue the other piece. I have tried to speed this up as much as I could, but I did need to leave enough room for the voiceover. I've got my TV going. My stepdaughter is sitting next to me. She likes to come around and craft as well. She's 17. She doesn't do junk journaling though. She does digital drawings. Pop that on there. And that's the first part done. You know me, I like to embellish, and I'm not quite happy with how that looks. I feel like it needs something else. Quickly ink around the edges. I always ink around my edges. You don't have to. I mean, it's personal preference, but I like to make old vintage aged looking journals, and if you look at an old vintage aged book, it definitely has discoloration around the corner of the pages, so I pretty much ink just about everything. So I've just cut out a few more bits and bobs. These are from the Botanical kit. You'll find them with the rest of the digitals. These ones are particularly cute. There's quite a few different numbers. Unfortunately, those numbers don't go up anymore to where I'm up to with my journals, because I will be up to number 17 shortly. Tried to put these through my corner cutter. It was not playing the game today, so I'll cut them by hand. Doesn't need to be perfect because I'm just going to quickly rough up the edges. I feel like that just looks a little bit lonely, and that's a good size, but I just want some differentiation in colour from the florally background to this label. So I'm just going to quickly put a backing of some book page. This might actually be my last design team project, unfortunately, with Sam. It's got an awful lot on my plate at the moment. Loved being with this group of beautiful ladies, and Sam is so sweet and so kind, but you know, well-being, you've just got to do what you can in life. Chuck a little bit of lace on there. And I'm pretty happy with how that looks now up there. Still feel like I need something on the maybe the right hand side, or yeah, down the right hand side. And I want to use that little number 14 somewhere. Just using normal silver staples, but as you'll see in a minute, I do get my alcohol ink out just to put a little bit on there so that it doesn't look brand new. That is raw umber. Oh, sorry, it could be burnt sienna actually. Okay, first part done. I'm going to leave that inside just as it is on the left. I don't think we need anything else. I have realised that my butterflies are upside down, but that's alright. If you make this project, don't put your butterflies upside down. Just going to make a pocket for this right hand side. This beautiful image. I thought it was a cute little size. Just to put some embellishments, maybe a cluster on. I would explain to you how I decide where to put my clusters, but all I can say is it's just a feel. Nothing on here other than the idea of the window was pre-planned, and this is me genuinely just looking for bits and pieces and deciding what I want on the spot. Please don't judge the state of this box. I have 2 drawers full of lace. I've got half a bookshelf full of lace, a tray full of lace, and this box. I just don't know how to organise everything. I'm just running out of room, so she's in a shoebox. A little bit of a different texture. I don't normally with my clusters just use paper. I think that's why my journals are quite bulky and crocodile mouthed, because I use a lot of fabrics and laces and trims. I'm just noticing that this background and that little cutout of the flowers, it blends in a bit too much. So I'm just going to add a little fabric border. Wish I could work this fast in real time. Mind you, that would make my weekend go twice as fast, I guess. correct my ripped edges. Don't want this to be perfectly even either. Just a little bit of lace down the bottom. I'm just going to put a bit of card on the back, just so that the fabric doesn't interfere with anything that you're putting into the pocket. So I'll just grab something that I'm not using right now. That way it won't be completely white on the inside of the pocket either. And I'm just going to make another pocket for the top right as well. I like creasing the paper and popping the ink on. I definitely think it gives it an older feel. So I'm just going to pop that there. Again, that top pocket is glue boogers, as Sue calls them. So anything about this glue? Glue boogers. So I'm just going to use that lighter paper again just to add a small border, just so that it stands out from that background a bit more. And yes, I am going to ink it. Ink, 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 ink everything. I'm obsessed. I know. Do you guys ink everything? Or do you prefer not inking? Just decided I wanted a little bit more texture to continue from that pocket up to the top pocket. It just tends to join them together a little bit. I'm going to glue the part that goes under the bottom pocket completely, so it doesn't slip down into the pocket and get stuck when you put something small in there. So you'll only use the top half of that banner as a pocket, and then this is a full pocket. So just putting that card on the back. Just so it's nice and sturdy. Making a pretty little sandwich. So you could have used either of these two digitals, either the one on the back or the one on the front. Either one of them would have made a beautiful pocket. Okay, and now there's 3 pages done, so you've got 2 pockets there. So in my journals, I probably make about anywhere from 4 to 8 of these little folios that I've done, a lot of work on, and then I start filling the pages that are just a little bit more for writing space or a little less time intensive. Just covering up the back of that staple with another little label. Now on the back I'm going to make a belly band out of this part of the digital, and we're going to make a scrappy notebook. Glue boogers. Blame Sue if you don't like me calling them glue boogers. I think it's hilarious because it's so what they are. Now if I didn't want to lengthen this video even further, I may have sewn around the borders of that paper and sewn around the window frame as well. Probably with some nice dark brown thread, and I probably would have done a zigzag stitch or a a more detailed stitch than a straight stitch anyway. While doing this voiceover, realised I probably could have cut this bit out completely. Sorry. Almost done. Imagine if I had have left it in real time. So I've just got a couple of fabrics, a bit of lace, some bits and pieces that I'm going to use for the Scrappy notebook. I really like to have a variety of colours, neutral colours, in my little Scrappy notebooks, and different sizes as well, so that they're quite tiered. Tiered as in T-I-E, not T-E-A. So now this, as it is, doesn't look old to me at all until I chuck some of the ink around the edges. Then it starts looking like a Scrappy notebook to me. Like I say, personal preference. Just want some lighter coloured pages in there as well, some lighter paper. Everything's by eye or measuring the piece of paper before it. I don't physically measure anything with the ruler. Just got that envelope flapped over the top, but you wouldn't have to. You could just have them normal and staple them together. If anything, that was just going to add a little bit of extra bulk that you don't need. Last two pieces. Lots of varieties of papers and colours, tones. I'm going to hide the staples anyway. Now you watch the difference when I've inked this. I think it just takes it to another level. Especially when it's torn, otherwise they just look too fresh. See, now she looks like a Scrappy notebook. Yay! Okay, I'm just going to make a little cover topper, and I like to use a thicker card for this so that when you just slide that back piece of card down the belly band, it holds nice and secure and it's not too, the paper that you're using isn't too soft. I'm going to cover this with some cotton fabric first. I only need the front flap to be covered in fabric. If you wanted to use a digital for this part rather than just white card, you definitely could, but I think you'll so seldom see it that I don't think it will matter, and you definitely won't see it when it's just sitting in the journal. Yep, some nice vintage lace. I think that adds to it. This is just to stick the front flap to the front piece of the notepad. Staple's gone. And now I'm just going to use those other extra little labels that I printed off as little page tabs. I often do this to my Scrappy notebooks when they're a larger size. Make a little tab out of a different fabric again. You could use the same fabric that you used under the topper. There we go. I'm just going to measure where that needs to sit so that it doesn't slide all the way down the belly band and hang off the bottom of the page. And then I'm just going to glue that portion of it to the back page so that it will sit on the belly band where the glue stops. And that is her complete. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a go. I hope it's something that you like the look of. Hope there's something just a little bit different in there. And until next time, or my next journal, or my next tutorial, I will see you guys later. Thank you, as always, so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!